go through it with you. Cool. All right. So over the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a series of AMRAPs, as many rounds as possible. So they're only 8 minutes long. And the last one down the very bottom is 6 minutes long. Okay. So everything is going to be 8 minutes long at the max. So it's going to be 12 reps of squat. Okay. You can hold your kettlebell, your dumbbell, your barbell, whatever way you want for the squat. So you're going to do 12 reps of squat, and then you're going to do a weight shift squat. So what that essentially is, I know it has loads of different other names, but essentially what you're doing is you're going to have your kettlebell, you're going to hold it on your chest, you're going to go down into a squat, and then you're going to shift all your weight to the left, come up a little bit, shift all your weight to the right, come up a little bit. So it's a little U shape that you're drawing, but you're keeping the pressure through the soles of the feet, and you're going to feel that more on the outside, the lateral aspect of the body. Okay, so it really works the outside of the quads and the hips. So go slow. The idea is stay in a squat and just do a little shift to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Over and back is 1. You got 12 to do. All right. After that, you're going to do split squat. It's not an elevated split squat. It's just dropping your knee to the floor, 12 reps. So you can hold the bell down in front of your thigh, or you can hold the bell up on your chest. I'd advise you holding it above your hips on your chest. And then just to break up the lower body, we're going to go Russian twists. Okay, so 12 Russian twists. All right, so that split squat is 12 each side. Go slow. It's as many rounds as possible in 8 minutes. It doesn't mean sacrifice your technique in order to get as many rounds as possible. I'd rather you do 2 quality rounds over 4 half-assed rounds. After that, we're going to go into deadlift. So we're going to do the hinge. So it's going to be deadlift, and it's single leg Romanian deadlift. And then it's bridging. That's where the chair comes into play. And then it's the V crunch, sit up and hit your toes. And then we got a 60-second breather after that, 8 minutes. And we're going to go into overhead press right-hand side, shoulder openers. So you're opening the door, essentially, palm faces the face and then opens all the way out through the shoulder. And then you're on your tummy and you're going to go T and Y without the weights, obviously. And then after that, it's going to be windmills, holding the bell on the right-hand side. And then we repeat everything on the left-hand side. And then we got a 60-second breather. And then we're going to go a narrow bent over row. So that's where the elbow stays narrow to the torso, in against the ribs. And then we've got our upright row, pulling to the chin. And then we have our bent over row with a wide elbow. And then bird dogs. So we're going to go right hand, left leg in the plank position. All right. And then after that, we're going into a 60-second breather. And then we're into our AMRAP, 6 minutes at the end. Hand release push-up, froggers, and burpees. Froggers are where your 2 feet jump forward and hit the soles of the feet on the floor beside your hands. Don't worry too much between each block. Just concentrate on the first block, because during the 60-second breather, I'll just go through a quick demo of the 3 exercises in each block as it follows. All right. So if you have any problems, any questions, unmute and shout at me. Otherwise, we will get going in about 10 seconds on our warm-up. All right. Let me just, there we go. So I want to pin that, move that, and expand that so you have a little bit more. You can see a little bit more. Cool. All right. Okay, guys, so we're going to go into lunges to start. So I just want to mobilize those hips and knees and ankles before we even get into any kind of cross-body stuff. So let's go feet on opposite rails, keeping that gap. Big stride forward, drop your knee to the floor, stand up, change sides. Big stride forward, drop the knee, stand up, change sides. So we're taking our time. We're stepping forward. We're dropping our knee. We're squeezing our abs. We're pushing through the sole of that front foot, and we're standing back up tall. So knee down, squeeze abs, push sole of foot uniformly into the floor, and stand back up tall. That's the one. Okay, we're just bringing the joints, tendons, ligaments, and muscles up to speed. So it's all slow, and emphasis in the warm-up is all about range of movement, ROM. All right, so from there, we're going to go into Russian Babymakers. So we're going to go feet even wider, toes turned out, push the hips back and down into a squat, knees push the elbows out, and hook our fingers under our toes. Raise those hips as high as we can. Stretch at the hamstrings and lower back, and then sit ourselves down into the world perfect squat. Uniformly distributing the weight on the soles of the feet. Elbows are being helped, or knees are being helped by pushing out by the elbows, and then we raise our hips again. And again, at the top, when my hips are nice and high, what I like to do is just shift the weight left and right, just to exaggerate the stretch on one side more than the other, and then back down into our squat again. So again, as with everything we do, technique always overrules tempo. So if you're finding your technique is breaking down, slow down the tempo, dial in the technique, reduce the resistance if necessary, introduce a support structure like a chair or a table or a wall if you need to. Emphasis is always on technique. All right, onto a plank position. So 2 hands, high plank, 2 hands on the floor, 2 feet on the floor. Bring your left foot forward, drop your right knee onto the floor. Big arm rotation on that left arm. And then back down and change feet. Knee to floor, and then it's a big rotation. So we're trying to twist as much as we can through the shoulder blades. That's it. Good stuff. Take your time. Again, we're just spending time mobilizing all those little minute joints and ligaments, all the little ones that tend to give you a bit of a niggle. So if you need to modify the stretch slightly and push out with the knee or rotate more or emphasis on the hamstring more so than the quad or the hip flexor, then that's fine. You just find that stretch and that rotation that works for you. Okay. So we're going to go on to our backs now. Best breakdancing move to get on your back. Soles of the feet are on the floor. You're going to push your hips up as high as you can and then lower them back down to the floor. 2 legs are working at the moment. And then once we get that movement pattern dialed in, we remove one of the legs, i.e. now, and we drive through the heel of one leg. That's it. And we change. Every few reps, you're just changing between left and right. And again, the reason we're doing our bridging is to activate our hamstrings, activate our glutes, and get the glutes firing along with the hip flexors that we've just stretched. Okay, and then arms are going to go out crucifix, legs are going to go flat on the floor. We're going to lift one leg up into the air and bring it across the body. Get as much of a twist as we can through the middle lower back, keeping the shoulder blades on the floor, and then bring that leg back, drop it to the floor, and change to the other side. So we're trying to get as much of a rotation through that spine as possible, but you do not let your shoulder blades come off the floor. So the height of your knee off the floor is governed by your ability of your shoulder blades to maintain contact with said floor. Good, so twisty spine is a healthy spine. That's the one, and we're keeping the stretch to no more than 3 to 4 seconds because we want to keep power in the muscles and reap the benefit of those powerful muscles, as opposed to prolonged stretches where the muscles become long and overstretched and relaxed. We don't want that. We keep that for the cool down. Okie doke, ready to go. Get your bell, get your space, put the cat out, whatever you need to do. Put the TV on mute, put me on mute, I don't know. And we're going to get into our first 8-minute AMRAP, and that is starting in 10 seconds. All right. Oh, my tunes. Got to start the tunes, right? Okay. Grab that kettlebell on the chest. You're squatting in 3, 2, 1. Let's squat. So 12 reps on the squat. And it's not a high tempo. It's just a continuous tempo. After your squat, you're going to do a shift. You're going to maintain the bottom of the squat, and you're going to shift to the left, down, and over to the right. Burning those quads, glutes, hamstrings. Keep the knees out. Keep the posture. Over and back is 1. And then it's split squat. Oh, burning already. Woo! Okay, so we're into our split squat after your shift. Maintain that width on the feet. And after split squat, Russian twist. with or without the weight. It's up to you. Over and back is 1, 12 to be done. We're coming up on the 3-minute mark already. My quads are rock solid already. Yep. Weight shift. Stay down on the weight shift. Oh, wow. Woo. Little waddle to shake it out. One split squat. Coming up on halfway already.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. All the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Yeah, I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. What you want, shorty, what you need. What you need. Run the game, we ain't never leave. Counting up this money, we ain't never sleeping. You got feet 12 like a 12 beat. Got bottles, got. I'm all the way up. Shorty, what you want, I got what you need. Shawty, what you want, I got what you need. Shawty, what you want, I got what you need. I'm all the way up. 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 All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. To Bentley Coops and Rolexes.
Okay, we're over the halfway mark, guys. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining. Tempo. Let's continue it.
She call me top shotter, yeah, I keep a few things. Champion sound, yeah, I got a few rings, and I'm all the way up, all the way up. And you can stay up, and you can stay up. And if you ask anybody where I live, they point to the hills and say, go all the way up, all the way up, go all the way up, go all the way up. I'm all the way up, I'm all the way up, I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. Left the big house to a bigger house. Ain't have a girlfriend, but the is out. Chanel croc bag, ain't even out. With the gold chains, Himalayan Birkin coat. Laid it up, packed. I hit him up and talk color money. Purple.
Keep the knees pushed out to the side when you're doing your squat work, especially on the shift. Coming up on the last 90 seconds.
We never leave. Counting up this money, we ain't never sleeping. You got feet 12 like a 12 beat. Got bottles, got. I'm all the way up. What you want, I got what you need. Shawty, what you want, I got what you need. Shawty, what you want, I got what you need. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up.
Oh, wow.
All the way up. Nothing can stop I'm all the way up. Yeah, I'm all the way up.
And that's it, guys. Last 45 seconds. And rest. Nice work, guys. Okay, so we're going into deadlift. That's 2 feet. Jeez, that really took it out of me. So deadlift, 2 feet. You can go one hand or two, it's entirely up to you. And then you're gonna go single leg Romanian deadlift. Okay, so Romanian deadlift is a straighter leg. And then bridging on your back, heels on the chair, 12 each side. So 12 with both legs on the deadlift, 12 each side, single leg Romanian deadlift, 12 each side bridging, and then 12 V crunch on your back, toes in the air, reach up and hit those toes. Everything's 12, it's the magic number. 10 seconds, tunes. And the tunes don't want to start for some reason. There we go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and deadlift. Now, generally, deadlift is a lighter weight that you're used to lifting when you're working from home. So emphasis is on posture and the glutes and the abs and driving yourself back up through the soles of the feet. The whole idea behind this is to get those glutes working. So when we get into the Romanian deadlift, they're already pre-fatigued. And with the Romanian or split squat, sorry, not split squat, I can't even think. With the single leg Romanian deadlift, there's a mouthful. I'm looking to really target at one side. Bring that perfect posture on the shoulder blades in. Remain in control. All about time under tension and range of movement. T-U-T or O-M. Like I said, don't be afraid to bring in a support or reduce the weight if you see your technique is starting to fail. So it's almost like you're standing across the room watching your form. Be really strict on yourself. What would a trainer tell you? What would I tell you if I saw you in person? Apart from the fact that you're awesome. Okay. Feels like I did about 1 million there, but anyway. And then it's bridging after the single leg Romanian deadlift, 12 each side. Remember your hips, your glutes live on the top floor. So in order to get them, you've got to go all the way up with the hips. Hold on to the legs of that chair or table so you don't creep away from it. And we keep the focus towards the glutes. And the movements are slow and controlled and deliberate. When you finish your bridging, you're into V crunch. Floor to toes, back to the floor, up those toes. When you're finished that V crunch, you're back to your deadlifts. You should really be feeling it on the deadlifts, despite the fact that the weight is much lighter than you're used to when you got a bar or a trap bar or anything like that, or a set of dumbbells. Keep that posture in check. It's the first thing that's going to go. So I'm starting to see a few little cracks show in my technique, and I want to be certain that I'm hitting the hamstring and glute whilst maintaining posture. So I brought in a little bit of support by way of the chair, just very lightly putting my hand on it. That just keeps focus on the areas I'm targeting. Oh wow. Lots of glutes and hamstrings are going to be not talking to me after this today. 2.5 minutes to go. Coming up on 2 minutes. The timer seems to be acting up. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Last 90 seconds. We're inside the last 60. Thirty seconds to go. and rest. Whew. Okay, we got 60 seconds. Okay, so we're going into our overhead press right hand side. So that's bell on the shoulder, overhead press, 12 reps. Then we're gonna go openers. You're opening your arm out through your shoulder 12 times each side. And then it's gonna be 12 TY, flat on your stomach. Lift your chest up off the floor. Keep your arms as straight as possible. Then we're back up for windmills, 12 each side. If you're unsure of anything, shout at me. And we will be going through it in 17 seconds. Okay, so throwing the tunes back on. Timer back up. 12 overhead press. Let's go, right hand side only, 12 reps. The abs tight. Remember on the openers, it's both sides. Your left side is going to be a lot fresher than the right. And remember, you're trying to open through the shoulder as opposed to the arm. When you finish both sides, you're into your TYs on your tummy, arms out crucifix, thumbs up towards the sky, raise it up, and then into a Y, raise it up. That's one. And then we're back up after the TYs into windmills. Right hand side only. So that means it's going to be left hand on the inside of your left leg. Left toe is turned out. Running the hand down as far as you can towards the foot without that bell tipping backwards and forwards. Okay, left side overhead press. Right side feels like it's had a kicking. Remember, full range of movement. So I would rather you take short breaks whereby you can keep the emphasis on the muscle that we're targeting as opposed to letting momentum carry away without the rest. Oh, wow. Shoulder health. Woo. All right. Here we go, right side. Left side is burning. Oh, man. Move through the shoulder. Keep the abs tight to allow it happen. Going on there. Be wise. Windmills on the left. That feels so much longer than 8 minutes AMRAP so far. Oh well, gotta suck it up, buttercup.
What else can we do when we're feeling low? So take a deep breath and let it go. You shouldn't be drowning on your own.
Oh, wow.
If you feel like you're sinking, I will jump right over into cold water for you. And all the time
You are well inside the last 90 seconds. The OCD is kicking in, and I know I'm not going to get around to the left side press, so I'm going to have to bring it in now, half to the right. Oh. Rest. Oh man. Yeah. That could not have come sooner for me. I don't know about you guys. I was starting to fail there. Okay. So we're into our last of 8-minute AMRAPs. It's going to be a narrow bent over row or single arm row. So we're going to have the elbow scraping the ribs for 12. And then we're going to go upright row, roll the shoulder, tuck the shoulder blade back, and then the arms will steer. So you're not pulling with the arm, you're shrugging with the shoulder and rolling down with the shoulder blades as the shoulder comes up and over the top. And then we're into bent over row with a wide elbow. And then it's bird dogs. That's a plank position. Right hand to left knee under the body 12 times. And then we go through it all again, left side. So if you're ready, get yourself sorted. Tunes are coming on now. And the timer. 5 seconds. Narrow row, left hand supported. Let's go. Ribs scraped by the elbow. And then it's upright row. We're really beating the crap out of the right side, lat and upper back. Gotta squeeze those abs. You should not be feeling that on the forearm with the upright row. If you are, you're pulling too much with the arm as opposed to shrugging and rolling with the shoulder and the shoulder blade. Okay, when you've done your wide single arm row on the right, it's your bird dogs. So you can keep your right knee on the floor as you raise out behind with the left leg. Full glass of water on your lower back. Don't want to spill it. With the right knee down. That bird dog is so tough when you focus on it properly. Okay, now it's lefty. Upright row on the left. Forgetting what I'm doing here.
I died for you, that's easy to say. We had a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody in this room. But I don't seem to see many bullets coming through. See many bullets coming through. Metaphorically, I'm a man, but literally, I don't know what I do.
Energy levels are just dropping. Gotta stay switched on mentally. If you don't stay switched on upstairs, everything falls apart. Oh, wow. Okay. Remember, we're doing this to target the lats. That's that big wing of V muscle on your back. Okay, left knee stays on the floor for the bird dogs. Whew. Okay, coming up on the last three, and then it's the fun round. All kinds of sweat. Stay with me, guys, you got this. I'm hurting too, And that's getting increasingly more difficult to keep the focus on the muscles I'm trying to target. And also keep the abs in check, maintain my posture. Oh, wow. Go for the walk, Ronan. Oh, stay with it, come on. 2:20 to go. Woo! Big muscles do the driving. Small muscles are there purely point which way. They feed off the big muscles, not the other way around. With it, Ronan. You're starting to lose consciousness.
Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
Wow. Inside the last 60. Don't cry, Ronan, don't cry. Rest. Oh, wow. Okay. We got 53 seconds. Pause that. Okay. So it's 2 hand release push-ups, followed by 2 froggers. So a frogger is where you jump your 2 feet as close to outside of your hands as possible at the same time. So look like a frog. And then back into a plank. And then you got 2 burpees. It's chest on floor. Like when people say burpee, it's always chest on floor. If it's not, then it's a half burpee. That is not a burpee. Chest must touch floor. Must jump at the top. Okay, last 6 minutes. We're going in 10 seconds. That's the wrong button, Ronan. 5 seconds. Hand release push-ups. Add 2 every round. And where's that stop? Let's go. Timer is messing with me. And after your 2 froggers, it's 2 burpees. After your 2 burpees, you're back into your second round, and it's 4 of everything. Oh. Who came up with this plan? We're already 1 minute in. And it's 6 of everything. Oh, stop playing around. You know who came up with this plan. 2 gone. 4 more delicious minutes to go. Shoulders, woo! Well over the halfway. It's less than 3 minutes. Stay with it. Stay honest. You're inside the last 2. You're well inside the last 60, come on. Keep moving. Last 30 coming up. Rest. Oh, wow. What a finisher. Woo. All right. Take a breather. Hurl some abuse at the screen if you need to. Oh, man. If I was on that side of the camera, I probably would be saying something under my breath while the camera's muted.
No, it wasn't under my breath.
Write it down and post it to me then.
Good God, those froggers were horrible.
I figured, how do we make a burpee more attractive?
Yeah.
And then I went in the completely opposite direction. Okay, if the heart rate is somewhat down, let's get into a passive hang. So as wide as you can with the feet, soften the knees, stick the butt out the back. and drop the hands to the floor. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Oh man. So again, slowing everything down, letting the body know it's finishing up and it can relax and start repairing and oxygenating and removing lactic acid and CO2. So when you work your muscles, you already know this, you probably already know this, but I'm just going to reiterate for those who just need reminding. When you work your muscles, there's two chemical byproducts in general: carbon dioxide and lactic acid. Lactic acid we're all aware of, and carbon dioxide we all know what it is. They build up in the muscles to the point where the muscles actually start to fail, as in they can't contract anymore because they are so full of this byproduct, this exhaust fume. The only way you can get lactic acid out of the muscle is by running fresh blood through, i.e. what we're doing, stretching, mobilizing. The only way you can get carbon dioxide out of the muscle is by being hydrated, because the only way carbon dioxide can get out of a muscle is by grabbing onto the water molecules in your blood. So if you are not hydrated, you are not carrying enough water molecules, H2O, in your blood, and the carbon dioxide, CO2, cannot grab onto them and get pulled out of the muscle. So it takes ages for carbon dioxide to get out of the muscle, hence cramping during and after exercise. Okay, we're going to go to a hip flexor stretch. Put your left knee on the floor, 2 hands on top of your right knee, tip your right knee forward, feel the stretch on the left side. So there's your biology chemistry lesson for the day, and we just did a physics lesson for the last 42 minutes. So again, breathing in through nose, holding for a second, prolonged exhale, and as we exhale, visualize and allow those shoulder blades to just sink and allow your body to become heavy and fall forward through the hips, because we're looking to target that hip flexor predominantly on the knee that's on the floor. And you'd be surprised how little passiveness is going on when you start to stretch. You're actually subconsciously holding the body tense. You have to go around with a clipboard and knock off each muscle and tell it to relax as the stretch progresses. Okay, let's switch sides. So it usually takes about 10-15 seconds for the stretch to actually take effect and let the body relax. The first 10, unless you're pretty experienced with it, like the yoga instructors and experienced yoga people, you're not going to be able to just flick a switch and relax the muscles. You gotta ease the body into it. Go passive, passive, passive. Let the body get heavy. Let the body hang into the stretch. And once you're in that stretch, hanging passively in that stretch, just completely relax, ragdoll. Good, another 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, back up standing. Take a big breath in through the nose and then out the mouth. And that is your Monday. That's going to start your week off on a high.